Yo, what up guys? Colby Cheese here. Wanted to bring you a cool little video that I've been cooking up where I show you guys just how I am efficiently juicing up my maps and my atlas to run the best possible combination of modifiers to give me the most fun within the map in terms of amount of loot that is dropping, as well as to just massively boost my pool of additional maps that I can use to then further roll. You'll notice I have this massive list of maps. This is just from about half a day of mapping yesterday. I'm not doing anything crazy with like waystone drop chance on my actual passive tree. In fact, I don't necessarily even take a lot of the nodes there that are specific to dropping additional maps. In fact, my goal is to get the most out of the explicit suffixes and prefixes that are rolled on top of the maps so that I can get an crazy amount of quantity and rarity on my maps. Now, I just want to run through my little system that I used to quickly roll maps and get the most out of them. So let's just jump into a few things that you can look at and do to organize yourself to avoid some of the pitfalls that happens with trying to do this. So first off, basically the motivation is that I don't want to be sitting here every single time I do a map, coming back in and trying to re-roll another map. The goal is to just bulk roll all of my maps and put them into specific categories, which I will use like specific maps on specific nodes of the Atlas tree. So for example, if I open up my tab of map, I'm pretty low on right now, but I'll have a few different categories of maps. These are the ones I pull from when I'm opening up my Atlas. I'm gonna have one column of maps that I use, which if I mouse over, you'll see these 4 maps that I have left over. They all have around 400+% of waystone drop chance. Now this generally is only achieved through corrupting your maps, which we'll look at here in a minute, but I use these maps specifically to run boss maps. So anything with this little boss icon, I'm going to run one of these high drop chance maps because bosses tend to always drop a large number of additional tier 15 maps. Well, assuming you're running tier 15s, you can drop more of those. And so that is how I completely bulk up my drop of maps so that I can then roll more maps. You're going to get some crap maps eventually, which, you know, you'll see here in a minute when we start doing this. Now, the next category of maps that I'll run through is anything that is level 16. I will put into its own little category, and I try to only run these particular maps on the nodes that have both a corruption and an irradiation on them. So, and that doesn't necessarily have to be a boss map, by the way, although a lot of times it's going to be much more likely that a boss map will have that if your Atlas tree has the all boss maps are irradiated built into it, by the way. So the reason that you want to run your 16s on this particular modifier is because that'll make the zone level 82. And if you've ever wondered to yourself, why have I never seen 35% move speed on boots, for example? Well, that is a roll that will only drop in a level 82 zone. There are other things like super high resistances and just a whole number of really good modifiers that you can only get in a level 82 zone. So that is why I saved my 16s specifically for those nodes. Now, the next two are going to be I'm actually out of them here, but I have one I rolled just as an example. The next thing I do is I group all of my maps that have really high rarity and or quantity prefix rolls on them, or also like ones with really good experience gain. You see, this is a pretty good map. It's got 65 rarity and 29 experience gain. So this is a map that I want to keep and not corrupt, okay? Because what happens a lot of times is you'll get some really sick good maps, you'll corrupt it, and it re-rolls all your prefixes into one of these type of maps, or I guess the ones I showed you earlier, these type of maps where it actually re-rolls everything and turns it into a Giga Juicer Waystone drop, but it's now a harder map with less prefixes, like good juicy things. So That is the reason why I actually do not corrupt any kind of map that has this type of role on the prefixes. And then finally, I will also have a list of maps which I put together, which are, you know, they're not really crazy. There's nothing good or bad about them. They've got your average waystone drop chance and maybe no rarity on them because I've corrupted them and it just didn't do anything at all. Okay. And those I'll just run on any kind of node that I don't really care about. Maybe it's a travel node trying to get to some towers. And that's going to be, of course, the final piece of what I want to talk about today is running your maps on the proper nodes and using the proper precursor tablets to juice all of your maps and the proper way to get the most amount of drops possible. Okay. So let's go ahead and just run through and do this so you guys can kind of see how I have my actual setup running. So what I do is I create a little tab here where I store all of the maps. Every time I complete a map, I'll just throw all of the maps, I don't even look at them, into a tab. And once I am low, as we see here, I'm a little bit low. I don't have any more juicers left, which I would just throw right here. I'm getting a little bit low on these maps, so I'm ready to go ahead and roll these as well as just show you guys how it works. I've got all of the currency for rolling the maps. Now, I forgot to record this, but I did earlier. Essentially, I'll go through, I'll right click on the orb of alchemy, hold down shift, and it'll light up anything that can be alchemied. And then once you do that, you can run and alchemy any kind of white tier 15 map that you have. And then you can use your orb of augmentation on any maps that are already blue to add the additional suffix. And then you'll do the same thing with your regal orbs. Now you'll see I've actually done this already on these maps. Didn't get that footage, sorry, but you get the idea, right? The next thing you do is the same thing with the Exalt Orb, and this is where it's a little bit slower, and we're gonna go through it together. So I'll right-click the Exalt Orb, you'll see all the maps light up. This is the same way it works on the other currency, and I'm just gonna hold down Shift and take a look at what we have. So this is a pretty crappy map in terms that it's minus max resist. The thing to keep in mind is you have to know in your head what are the suffix mods that you yourself either do not want to or cannot run on your character. In a lot of cases, there are actually quite a lot of mods that I cannot run on my other characters. I'm currently running a monk that is acrobatics and is incredibly powerful. And so I can run pretty much any suffix. There's nothing that stops this monk. However, on my demon wench, for example, there are mods such as reduced regeneration of life, and that really messes up my demon witch because her entire mechanic is she needs a lot of life regen. Also, one thing that I really do not like to run is burning ground maps. So when you're doing this, just keep an eye out for modifiers that you don't want to run, and then you can just stop using currency on that map and throw it into a sales tab, which I have a sales tab where I sell maps, you know, fairly cheap. They're just the ones that I don't want to run, and that helps you recoup some of the cost of exalting these maps. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll this until I get 3 prefixes that I want to see. And if you're not familiar, you can hold down Alt and you'll see the prefixes on the left. And once you have 3 of these little U's, that's when you know this map is going to be as good as it can get. Now, I got no rarity on this map, and it's kind of a crap map, to be fair. So I'm just going to throw it into this this column right here. This column right here of maps that are not that interesting. You see, I've already started some here. These maps are, some of them are going to be decent, like these with quantity. Quantity is actually a really good stat to have on maps. However, I don't really care that much unless it has both quantity and rarity at, you know, around 70 or plus. So I'm going to put all of these maps, anything with less than around 70, into a column on the right side, and then all of the ones with good rarity right here. So let's go ahead and run through these really quickly. And so we're going to roll. We got pack size, magic monsters, and gold finds. So that's 3 of the prefixes. We're going to throw that over here into the bad category. And then we're going to do, so Faradun monsters, rare monsters. This is looking good. And pack size, pretty decent, but no rarity. We're going to throw it there. And we're just going to keep running through pack size and, magic, and rare. So this already has 3 prefixes. I'm not going to waste any currency on it. This is actually a good map to run as is. All you can do is make it have more waystone drop chance and make the map harder for yourself. So I'm not going to waste currency on that, since I'm not really going to gain more currency by rolling it further. So that's the big one to keep in mind. Okay, and so let's continue. We've got pack size, burning ground. I hate burning ground. I'm not even gonna, and it's LE pin. So this is a dog crap map. I hate it. I don't even think I want to run it. I would probably throw this one into the sell tab. I'm just gonna throw it over here because I'm gonna sort this out and just sell that map. Who cares about running burning ground? Not me. That's for darn sure. It looks like this one's already been fully rolled. Gold, pack size, rare chest. Okay, so that's just gonna throw it over there. Quantity, rarity. Oh, this could be a good one. Rare chest. We need one more prefix. And what do we get? Let's see. Rare chest, temp chains. I don't care. All right. So this one's okay, but we're going to throw it into this right there. Eventually, we're going to get a good map. That's what I'm hoping to see here. And then, you know, you guys can see. So pack size, essence, and brambles. All right. Man, we are not getting lucky, are we? Let's see. I just want to get one good rarity map. Come on. And we got plague, monster damage, threshold. Oh, God. Oh, there we go. Rarity and gold. All right. So this is good. It's not the best. It's probably one of the lower rarity rolls, but we're going to throw it in there anyways. We don't want to corrupt that one. This one's already been exalted. We got gold, magic chest, magic monsters. There we are. Chests. Rarity. Oh, 94 rarity. Let's go. We got a juicer on our hands, boys. That's what I like to see. And can we get one more prefix? What is it? Chests. Wait, did I get 3? I'm kind of blind. We need one more. What do we? Oh, quantity. Oh, there's the big juicer, baby. We got 127 and 19 quantity. That is the huge map. You do not want to vow that map. This is what I'm talking about. This is why we sort these into their own category. If you vow this and you turned it all into suffix, I'd be sad. Look, so you might actually run through quite a few exalts. And this is the other reason I do this, by the way, is, you know, like I said, I only roll the prefixes because I'm not trying to waste all my exalts here. And I'm just trying to get the best maps possible. So look, we've already got a good amount here of stuff just to take a quick look at. So what we're gonna do now, I'm going to run through these here later, but I wanted to show you now that we have a couple of juicers, as well as a couple of these, and then one of the ones that I'm going to sell. So what I'll first do is I'll run over to my tab of maps that I'll sell. I usually sell these for, you can see they're not really selling because they're all crap maps, to be fair. But sometimes people do buy these, and I'll sell them in bulk when possible. I might actually move some of these to my 2 exalt tab. I even have a little thing I copy paste to people where I tell them I'll sell them, you know, buy 3, get 1 free or whatever. Anyways, back to it. Where are we at? Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and vow all of these maps. I'm gonna hold down shift, like I said, right click, hold down shift, and I'm just gonna blind vow every single one of these maps, and let's see what happens. Okay. So what has happened now is we've gotten, wow, that is, what? What is this? This is horrible luck. I only got 116 out of all, you're kidding me, right? You're joking. Okay, so you're seeing it right there. It's pretty tough to get level 16 maps. What did we actually get? We got one with pack size and bramble. So what that means is a lot of these either did not change or they all rolled full prefixes or full suffixes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to look back over all of these maps and we're going to see what happened. Okay. So you can quickly, like without even really reading it, you can quickly see if any of these have like 400% waystone drop chance, you'll know that it's full suffixes. It looks like none of them actually rolled crazy bad, but that means some of them might have rolled crazy good. Let's just take a look. So looks like we got some decent stuff here. What I'm looking for, by the way, is if any of them rolled with crazy good like rarity because they like re-rolled when I corrupted, or if they rolled any suffixes, at least, you know, maybe in your case, I don't really care, but in some of these cases, they might have rolled an additional suffix that makes the map unrunnable for you, which means you would want to throw it into like a sell tab, you know, so that you don't run it and kill your character off and lose a bunch of experience, for example. So anything that I basically deem as like, this is an okay map, I'm just going to put it into its own little column here. So these are our juicers right here, like I said, and then we got our 16s. I'm going to put into a column right here. There's only one. And what do we have here? Gold, quant, rarity. This is just a decent map, nothing crazy there. Now, by the way, some of these builds like that are running the dual heralds, they don't really do so well with element threshold, so that's something you might keep in mind. Personally, for me, I actually have so much freeze buildup, I don't care about that. By the way, if you haven't seen my monk build guide, definitely check that out. I'll put a link in the description below. I posted it on Moxie's channel. What do we have here? This is going to be oh, there it is. I guess I didn't notice this earlier. This is one of those 500% waystone drop chances. That is actually crazy. And it still kept the quantity and rarity and pack size. This is a really good freaking map. This is a giga juicer, not only for the prefixes, but for the suffixes as well. So I'm going to put this into another column. This is what we use for running boss maps specifically, okay? Because this is how you start to get like this massive quantities of maps, all right, without having to actually invest into your atlas tree as, you know, waystone drop chance, because I think that's a waste. And so what do we have here? Just a normal map, nothing crazy. So that's going into the average map tab. 390 is pretty good drop chance for this, but I'm not gonna, it's almost 400%. You could probably put this into the waystone juicer tab. I'll throw this like at the bottom of the tab. So we'll say, you know, in case I run out, I maybe run this one. So that's fine. And then we have just an average map here. Minus max sucks, but it's not a big deal. I'll kill everything before it touches me. Just another average map. Yeah, it doesn't look like we have anything else here crazy. Nothing re-rolled with tons of quantity yet. Yeah, or rarity, like I said. Okay, nothing good, nothing good. And that is pretty much, oh, nope, okay. So there you go. So this is already enough maps to just freaking start going and, you know, blasting through maps pretty quick. But I'm still not happy. I don't have too many juicers, and I really just want a bunch of juicers to run on all of my areas that have tons of quantity. Now, I'm going to finish rolling these here in a second, but first I want to show you guys the way we want to set up our zones to run the maps in with the proper precursor tablets, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look. I've been storing up a lot of the precursors that have been dropping from my maps, and what ended up happening was initially I was like, I have so many of these precursors, so I just threw them all into like a 3 exalt sales tab, and my whispers just started to explode, and I recognized that, oh, okay, what am I doing here? I realized that people are really wanting all of these specific stones, and then I just kept raising the price until people started buying them for 50 exalt, and I was like, okay, I can't sell these anymore. I realized just how valuable some of these stones are. And so to make it simple, what you really want to do is stack up as much quantity on your map within these breach stones as possible, okay? That's pretty much the simple version of it, is that you want, if it has the ability to roll additional quantity. So what I'll do is I'll search quantity on my highlight items. Well, actually, the way you want to do it, and I just recently found this, you do with quotes, quantity of items. I believe this is the way you do it, okay? And you'll see anything highlighted that can roll increased quantity of items found within your map. So here's a 19%. This rolls up to, I believe, 20, which means that is your very valuable one. So the best thing you want to do is find your tablets that have, you know, like 10 maps in range with is close to 20% quantity roll possible. And you want to pull those out and put those into your towers. Now, the goal is you want them on your breach tablet, okay? So you want to find any breach tablet with this. You'll notice that I'm actually running a little bit short. So you can either go purchase them for a lot of exalts, or, you know, snipe some good deals for people who don't realize it, like I had initially, and try to find those tablets. Now, one thing you could do is, if you have a lot of additional tablets, you can 3-to-1 them within the reforging bench. So let's just go in here to some of these crap ones. I already know these are all bad. So we're gonna take a look at our reforging bench. Let's see, pack size, magic monsters, and increased rare. This one's actually decent. I'm gonna keep that one. It's not crazy, but like if I actually run out of other stuff, increased rares is good. That's more That's more or less like the next best thing that you can get. Let's increase magic montage. That's fine. All right, so we can just 3-to-1 it right there. And then if you have a lot of extra ones, you're not interested in selling them off or trying to sell them off, then just start 3-to-1. You might get something good, you might not. And then we'll go ahead and throw on this. Okay, so it's a crap one. Anyways, that's the goal, is to get as many of the precursor tablets as possible that have the quantity on them as you possibly can. So once you get a couple of precursor tablets with quantity, or at least the additional roll of rare monsters on them, let's just see how many I have of that. Increased rare monsters. I guess that was the only one there. And let's see, so we can grab some from out here. 12% is the next best there. We'll go through, grab something out just to kind of get it set up. 13, and of course this one goes up to 15. And that is going to be just about all I've got for the moment. All right, so what you want to do is have a couple of these ready to go and open up your atlas. Let's find a good cluster to give you guys the example of how you want to juice these up as much as possible. Now, yesterday I actually wasn't juicing maps at all. I was just going through and trying to find the copper citadels, but today we're going to be juicing up a zone as much as possible. So let me find somewhere where I've kind of gotten started on this, and I believe this is a good area. Look at this. We've got 3 towers here which have not been activated. These 2 I'm pretty sure are decent. So let's just mouse over the zones. You'll see I've got quantity and XP. I've got quantity and XP. It looks like it's pretty much, oh, there it is, 33% quantity. So you can see that some of these nodes have been affected by decent quantity. They're already good, but the goal is to make them better. So we're gonna go ahead and decide on our pathing to run all of these maps in this area to have a really good time, okay? And the goal is to actually avoid as many nodes as possible while hitting all of the towers that affect the maps. And so you either run the worst maps on the path to tower, as that's pretty much the idea. So this one only really has one path. So we're gonna just run maps leading up to this tower, and we're gonna throw in our best precursor tablets to juice as many nodes in the area. And so what I'm gonna do, and you know, I haven't seen, there might be more towers over here, but the goal is to run up here and juice up this tower, and this tower, and then we go back through and hit all the nodes that are going to be fully juiced with all of our best juicy maps. So you saw earlier, whenever I started rolling these maps, the goal is to say, these guys right here, I'm going to save. I'm not going to run them until I've got all of those towers fully lit up, okay? And for these maps, these are just the average, decent, whatever. These are my travel node maps, okay? So we take those maps and we throw them in on the way to the way to the towers, and then once I've got all those towers lit up with hopefully breach maps on all of these nodes, then we go back through and we choose our favorite maps to run with the most modifiers on them, and we fully juiced all of those and get to work. So that is the goal, to fully juice everything. I'm going to give you guys the power of editing. I'm going to run through and I'm going to use my currency to roll every single one of these maps, and we're going to see just how many maps we can get and how much it costs us to do this, okay? So let's just do that real quick. Okay, cool. Here is the result of that full crafting session. We've got quite a lot of maps to run today or tomorrow, however long this is going to take us. All these are our mega juicers with high rarity, sometimes with quantity, experience, things like that. We've got things to boost the zone up to level 82. We have some maps for running high waystone drop chance boss maps for getting our next crafting session ready to go, and just all of our travel nodes. These are all of the just they're fine type of maps. And you probably saw, if you watched the earlier, we just threw any of the crap maps, all of our, oops, wrong tab. We threw all of our burning ground maps and our T14s, which is essentially the ones I don't want to run, into a little sales tab. Occasionally they'll sell, often not, but I don't really care. And that's fine with me. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like after I go through, travel to the nodes that I showed you earlier, and place in some waystones to fully juice the zone. And that way you guys can see just how much this affects things. Because the final thing to note is that not only are we trying to get as much of the explicit modifiers on our maps as possible, as well as on our towers as possible, but we're going to boost that even further with our Atlas passive tree. And you'll see the way I've got the Atlas tree set up right now is that I'm boosting all of the modifiers as much as I can. So I have a pathing system where I start here and I go all the way around the tree, grabbing things like the explicit modifiers of waystones will affect the map even further. And then the waystones up here are giving me a chance to boost by double the effects of the tablets. And then I'm also able to boost for every tower affecting my waystone, the modifiers even further. This one gives me another 25%. So it all just adds up together to just make your map really insane. So you may go in and it may say like 100% rarity, 20% quantity, but you're going to have even more than that. Now, the downside, of course, is that if there is something in the map that's difficult for you, it's going to be even more difficult because of the modifier. So let's just see what that looks like. We have finished all of the towers that you saw uncovered before. I went ahead and placed a couple of precursors in there, just the best ones I had, not even as good as you could potentially get. But if I mouse over here, you can see I've got 67% quantity on this node, and I've got quite a few breaches in this area. There's a few maps that did not hit breach, but that's okay. And so when I jump into this, there's one more piece to this puzzle, which is going to be crazy and really cool to look at. So first off, let me show you. This map right here has 123% increased rarity, and so you should expect to see a pretty big increase from the actual Atlas tree passives. So let's see what it goes up to. This is going to be a mega juicer. We're going to be seeing items all over the place. All right, so with the modifiers from my Atlas tree, we're actually looking at 100, wait, that's the magic monsters. Where is it at? I can't read. There's too many things. 97% increased quantity of items and 231% increased rarity of items found in this area. It's insane how much your Atlas tree will boost it. So let's take a look just one more time. All of the boosts that I'm getting are coming from taking all these nodes, which boost all of the precursor tablets. And then this one, pretty much all of these over here, we get 25% additional effect on the waystone. And I believe all of these here give me increased effect on waystones as well. So you'll notice everything being boosted. Very specifically, the way I've pathed this is to get the most benefit out of that as possible, and you're seeing exactly that right there. So let's go ahead and run this map and figure out just how cool it's going to be with all the loot explosions happening all over the place.
Not yet. I cannot.
I cannot.
Okay,
Good stuff, just from pathing to all of the towers in the area, as well as activating them and running like just a couple of these 3 here after, you know, deciding to finally throw in my juicy quantity rarity maps. I've already gotten quite a few additional maps. As you can see, when we started this, I rolled all of those maps. I have way more to run. Let's take a look. I still have all of these. That is from my session. I've run through a couple of these now, but I've already gotten like 2 more breachstones, I believe, and I've got all of these additional ones ready to roll again. I'm gonna have way more as well once I'm done with this cluster. We've got this boss map here. We've got, well, that might be one of the only ones left. This one here, here. So those 3 alone, I mean, I can get easily another 5 maps from each one, just being conservative, if I'm being honest. Oh yeah, here's another one. So we're gonna get tons of loot. We've got all these breaches to go through, and it's going to be a blast. Each one of these has, you know, quite a lot, at least like around 50, 59, yeah. They're all mega quantity maps. You saw the ones I just showed you. So it's going to be a great time. And honestly, this is not even as good as it could be. I only had a couple of quantity precursors. So just to recap on everything, make sure you guys are saving up your quantity stones, especially the breach ones. And when you are ready, when you've got around 6 or so of those stones, go ahead, find yourself a cluster like this with, you know, around 5, or in my case, I found 2 extras here, towers. Juice them all up as quick as possible while trying to avoid everything in the path, and you're good to go. Once you have your atlas set up like mine, you will see massive bonuses on everything. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. If you thought so, make sure to let me know in the comments below, or let me know if it wasn't, and I'll see you around for the next one. Peace.